You reply in seconds. You're always there when someone calls. You cancel your plans just to show up for others. And somehow, you still feel ignored, unappreciated, replaceable. It doesn't make sense, right? You give more, but receive less. You try harder, but matter less. So what's going wrong? The truth is uncomfortable, but powerful. You are too available. And today, you're going to understand why that's slowly destroying your value and how to take your power back. There's a silent mindset that most people grow up believing. If I'm always there for people, they'll never leave me. So you become that person, the reliable one, the always yes person, the one who never says no. But over time, something strange happens. People stop appreciating you. They stop noticing your effort. They stop respecting your time, and you're left wondering, how did I become so easy to ignore? Let's get real for a moment. People don't value what's always available, not because they're evil, not because they're selfish, but because the human mind is wired to respect scarcity. Think about it. Gold is valuable because it's rare. Diamonds are expensive because they're limited. Even time feels more precious when it's running out. Now ask yourself, if you're always available, always reachable, always saying yes, what makes you rare? What makes your presence special? Nothing. And that's the problem. Here's something most people never realize. People don't decide your value. They learn your value, and they learn it from you. Every time you reply instantly, every time you drop everything for someone, every time you ignore your own needs to please others, you're sending a message, a silent one. My time isn't important. My life can wait. You come before me. And once people learn that, they don't question it. They accept it, and they treat you accordingly. A lot of people who are too available don't do it because they're weak. They do it because they're kind. They want to help. They want to be loved. They want to be needed. But here's the painful truth. Being a good person without boundaries turns into self-neglect. You start abandoning yourself just to keep others comfortable. And slowly, you lose your identity. You lose your energy. You lose your peace. When someone knows they can reach you anytime, they stop valuing the moment they have you. Because there's no urgency, no limitation, no effort required. You become like air. Always there, but never noticed. And the more predictable you become, the less exciting your presence feels. Not because you're boring, but because you're always there. Now let's flip the perspective. What happens when you're not always available? When you don't reply instantly? When you don't always say yes? When you start choosing your time carefully? People feel it. They notice the gap. And suddenly, your presence becomes something they earn, not something they expect. And when something has to be earned, it becomes valuable. This is the power of absence. Not disappearing to play games, but stepping back to protect your energy. You were not born to be convenient. You were not created to be on standby for everyone else's needs. Your life is not a waiting room where you sit until someone needs you. But that's how many people live. Waiting for messages, waiting for validation, waiting to be needed. And in that waiting, they forget to live. Let's talk about what this habit is really costing you. It's costing you your focus, because your attention is always scattered. It's costing you your peace, because you're always reacting instead of choosing. It's costing you your self-respect, because deep down, you know you're putting yourself last. And worst of all, it's costing you your potential, because instead of building your life, you're managing everyone else's. A boundary is not an attack. It's a decision. When you say, "I'll get back to you later," "I can't right now," "I'm busy," you're not rejecting someone. You're respecting yourself. And yes, some people won't like it because they were used to the old version of you, the always available version. But growth always feels uncomfortable, especially to the people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. You don't need a long explanation to protect your time. You don't need a story. You don't need an excuse. The more you explain, the more it sounds like you're asking for permission. And you don't need permission to live your own life. A simple no is powerful. A simple not right now is enough. Silence is also an answer. The real solution is not just saying no. It's building a life that naturally makes you less available. Set goals, create routines, work on yourself, develop something meaningful. When your life has direction, you don't have time to be everywhere for everyone. And that's not a bad thing. That's growth. Let's be honest. When you stop being overly available, some people will drift away. They'll text less. They'll call less. They'll disappear. And that might hurt. But understand this. They weren't connected to you. They were connected to your availability. And when that disappeared, so did they. That's not a loss. That's clarity. Attention is easy to get. Just be available. Just respond fast. Just say yes. But respect? Respect is different. Respect comes when people know your time matters. Your energy is limited. Your presence is intentional. And not everyone gets access to it. Your time is your life. Every minute you give away without thought is a piece of your life you'll never get back. So ask yourself, who deserves your time? Who earns your energy? Who respects your presence? And most importantly, are you one of those people? Stop being available to everyone and start being available to yourself, because at the end of the day, you are the only person who has to live your life. Disappear a little and watch how your value appears.